Hey everybody, we are here for the Big Data Beards Beat the Beards Championship Racing Series, brought to you by our friends at Splunk, and we hope that you're enjoying the epic fun that is .conf, and we hope you had a chance to check out the virtual race to .conf. We are the Big Data Beard team. I'm joined by Brett Roberts here, and we're taking conf in Florida. But we've got our global team represented here today. Kyle Prinz is joining us. Kyle, how you doing today in lovely Sydney, Australia?
Good man. It's sun's shining outside my VR headset, and right now we're just trying to lay down some laps here in Indy. See how it goes.
Nice. Well, I'm so glad to have you join us. The beauty of the internet and this technology is incredible. And Tom West joining us from the lovely UK. Tom West, how you doing today, my brother?
Hey everybody, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Unlike Kyle, the moon is shining here. It's the middle of the night, but it's still we're having a laugh. We're putting down some laps and yeah, seeing how fast we can do, what we can do with learning from our data.
There you go. Well, for those of you who don't know what's going on here, let me give you a quick primer. We are the Big Data Beard team. We run a blog and a podcast covering all the trends, technology, and talented people making big data a big deal. We ran a virtual racing series on this iRacing platform in the 10 days leading up to .conf. We splunked the whole thing. We gave a talk about it today at .conf, and we wanted to bring the racing action and make it interactive. So we've actually opened this up to conf attendees to come and race with us. And the idea here is that we're going to have two play-in races. This race right now, which we need to go qualify for. You might go ahead and get in, and then a race tomorrow to qualify, and then on Thursday we're going to have the Beat the Beards Championship, where you'll have all the racers, the top 10 from each of the races the next 2 days, will join to see if they can claim the title of beating the Beards. So we're going to jump in. You'll notice that we are all in. Well, three of us are in VR. Tom West, are you running VR today, or are you running monitors? You look like you're
today.
going old school. All right, so we're going to be in VR, so don't make fun because it is a crazy immersive experience. But we're going to go race, and we're actually going to be commentating the racing action while we're driving, which could be comical at best. But you're also going to see the racing action thanks to our friends at Apex Racing TV who are doing this broadcast for us. They've been our partner throughout this. They've been incredible. So we hope you enjoy the racing footage. We're going to have some fun talking through the race and trying to protect our title of being not being beaten. But we'll see how it goes.
And now, Corey, while you're getting ready to go qualify, explain what qualification is and why it's so important for iRacing as what we're racing today.
Absolutely. So iRacing is a racing simulation platform, and you'll start to see some of the in-car footage and the racing footage, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it's absolutely very realistic in terms of its experience and how it's run. And it's a platform that, much like on the racetrack, safety is paramount. They want to make sure that the drivers are learning good skills to manage their car on the track. So one of the things that we do to kind of group people or line people up as we begin a race is put them in qualifying order based on who can run the fastest laps during the qualifying section of the race. And so that's what we're doing right now is we have a 10-minute qualifying time on the track where all cars are on track together, maximum of 4 laps. And in those 4 laps, you need to put down a single quality lap where you have no incident points. And incident points, Tom West, why don't you take a minute and tell us a little bit about incident points and how they're tabulated?
You know a lot about them, buddy.
But yeah, so incident points are what you get if you go off the track. If you spin the car out, you lose control, you crash into something or someone, then you get incident points, and they're graded depending on how bad it is. To get it, like Corey says, to get a qualification lap, you need to get no incident points. So you need to be on the tarmac all the time, on the track all the time, and driving as fast as you can.
Very cool. Now the incident points and all the other data that we have that we're collecting on this racing is being splunked. And so if you're not aware, we did a session today where we actually collect data from the iRacing platform and bring it into Splunk. And our team created some amazing dashboards and reports that show kind of racing performance that we then used to learn how to race more effectively. And hopefully what you see here today is the output of us actually learning something from the data. Kyle Prinz, do me a favor. Tell the folks a little bit about, if they missed the session, real quick, what it's like to build the platform to get data out of iRacing.
Yeah, so it was It was a fun and tricky process, simply because the data coming out of it was coming in a proprietary file format, and we had to get that converted into a payload that was easily readable. So the way we did it this year was we built a custom Python script, which is living in our GitHub, and from there we were able to pull it into a clean JSON payload and actually send it into Splunk via the HTTP event collector. You can actually do something similar in the hands-on lab here at .conf. So if you are wanting to give that a try yourself, you can jump into the hands-on lab and give it a try there. You can also log into our Splunk instance. So if you go to bigdatabeard.com/VR2C, you can actually log into our instance, get the username and password, and take a look around and play with the data as well. One of the trickier parts of it was just ensuring that the script was running at startup, since we did have 15 racers racing all at the same time. We wanted to make sure that we were collecting clean data all through that process. So Westy was actually able to build a dashboard around that so that we could monitor the health of the JSON payloads coming in via HTTP event collector. Westy, can you share a bit around what the information was on that dashboard and what was interesting about it?
Yeah, so it was basically some searches that were running every 10 seconds or so that were checking the just simple things like host name, how often the data was coming in from each individual host, and making sure just that we were still getting it in, really. Obviously, one of the main problems, certainly whilst we were racing, was the fact that whilst we're in the middle of a race, we can't fix it. So at the very least, if we've got an idea of when that stops running, then we can do something about it as quickly as we can as soon as the race is over.
Yeah, it was really interesting because we had a bit of an IT versus OT operating model there, where we had to build a script that could not only send the data, which we cared about, but then also create some logging data as well to keep track of the health of the script as well. So it became quite a technical process for us, but we had a lot of fun with it and learned a lot as well, Corey.
Nice. Well, we've got if you look around on the racetrack today, you're going to see a lot of cars that are being driven by a variety of folks, from some Splunkers, some Splunk customers, Splunk partners, and actually exciting to say, I think we've got, I can say, at least 3 Splunk Trust members on today's race. If anybody missed the Splunk Trust induction ceremony yesterday, and if you're not familiar, the Splunk Trust are really the ambassadors of the Splunk brand, and really some of the best experts that share their expertise with the Splunk community. And it's really one of the key things that I think separates Splunk and creates such a culture that makes it such an interesting company and a technology that people get so passionate about. But if you missed it, I want to say congratulations to all of the Splunk Trust inductees, but a special congratulations to the 3 gentlemen joining me on the broadcast today. Tom West, a returning inductee into the Splunk Trust, and Kyle Prinz and Brett Roberts. Congrats on becoming members of the Trust. Brett, what was it like for you to get told that you get to have a Fez?
Yeah, Corey, it's truly just such an honor to be a part of this. Like you said, the ambassadors to this community. And one of the things I've always liked about the Splunk community is just how approachable and how helping they all are. And the Trust is just truly, a group that embodies that, or that capability and that help. So being a part of it is just really, truly remarkable. Never thought I would achieve this, and super excited to continue the legacy of this great group.
Absolutely. And Kyle, I know it's kind of surreal for you too, man. What was it like when you found out you were going to be a member of the Trust, bud?
Dumbfounding. It was really cool. I always took it as somebody who really spent a lot of time on Splunk Answers and answered a lot of questions. But they really look for any creative ways that you can help show passion for Splunk and creativity and community around Splunk. So as you go about this year and are looking to join the Trust, really think about what you can do to help bring Splunk to the community and the community to Splunk, and be a super helpful part of that. One area that was really helpful that I've noticed is the Slack user group. So the Slack Splunk user groups. There seems to be a lot of activity there where you can help others and then also find help as well, and then also be quite in the know and connected to see what other customers and partners across the Splunk landscape are doing. So yeah, it's really cool to be a part of it, man. I just wish my Fez could fit over the VR goggles and headset I have. But maybe we'll make some modifications.
That's right. Got to cut the fez to fit. Well, Tom West, I know you were inducted in the trust last year, and this is your second time in. But after a year in, what's it like to be a member of the trust, and kind of what's maybe your favorite thing after having spent a year as part of that incredible collection of folks?
It's a bit of a surreal feeling, to be honest, because you end up mixing with a lot of folks that are amazingly helpful, and you do almost get a bit of imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't belong, but everyone's in there for different reasons, and everyone that is there absolutely does belong to be there. So learning how to deal with that and play to strengths is definitely something that I've gone and learned to deal with, and really enjoyed and felt as though I've embraced over the last year. And while we're here and we're talking about the trust, I would like to say again a massive thank you to Nick at Nalai, who sadly passed over the weekend, for all his help that he's gone and given the community, and for all the value that he's given. He's a real sad loss, a real big loss, and someone that I especially looked up to, given the similarities that we shared within the field.
Yeah, we send our warmest condolences to the family, and certainly really touching to hear the way that the Splunk Trust honored him and his legacy in the induction ceremony. So certainly sad to hear. But I tell you what, looking over here at the board, looks like Jason Stein's going to put down a just crushing almost 126 flat time. That's going to be a hard one. Now, folks, what we're going to do is we're actually going to grid up, and that means that we're going to get back in the race, and we're going to join, and we're going to get on track and get ready to begin the race. And what happens is basically the pace car comes out. This is all virtual, obviously, but the pace car comes out, and we get lined up in line behind the people who are faster than you. Westy, turns out you were faster than me. So I'm seeing your tail lights again.
Fastest beard.
I spent a lot of time back here. But basically, we're going to grid up now, and you'll see us kind of all lined up. Pace car will go out, take us around a lap around the track in kind of slow-mo, right? So about top speed of, I think, 55, 60 miles an hour. And then as we come around the racetrack back to this front straightaway area, the pace car will pull into the pits, and the racing action will begin. So if you've ever watched a race yourself, you've kind of seen how races go. And the virtual race here in iRacing is very much like a traditional race. So it's going to be fun. I will say, as we think about the broadcast, one of the things we did in the virtualrace.conf is keys to the race. And Brett, you did more of the races with me than anybody. So I want to start with you. What do you think today's keys to the race are going to be?
Yeah, Corey, I think today it's all going to be about accuracy and consistency. We have a couple very sharp turns, a very important turn going into turn one, going into the infield. If you're going to miss that brake marker, if you don't turn in there properly, you're not going to be able to put down good time. So accuracy and consistency into your turns.
Well, Westy, you were the man behind the data in many of the post-race analysis, so you probably have maybe the best, most informed view. What do you think the keys to the race today are going to be?
It's how people tackle the last part of the course. There's a very, very sharp chicane and sharp turn right before the finishing straight, which is long and has a big impact on people's lap times. So getting through there clean, not spinning, and getting a fast exit is definitely key to a lot of people's performance.
It's totally true. Kyle Prince, what about you? What do you think is going to be the keys to maintaining our ownership of being the fastest and not letting these fine folks beat us on the Beat the Beards?
Well, I've been hearing a lot of talk around consistency and strategy, but I got to disagree, Corey. I think we all know you win this race in the first turn. So I'm going to try my hardest to get into the front of the pack and see what we do there. Yeah.
But very well for you last time. I definitely recommend that strategy.
Yeah. Go look at the Indy race from last time and see how well I did. Yeah. So
speaking of first. Yeah, sorry, Cal. Speaking of first turn, though, I mean, there's this thing called cold tires, and we've all experienced, if you watch any of the other races, cold tires. Corey, what are your thoughts on, just how do you mitigate the cold tire issues today?
Well, I think you do exactly the opposite of what Kyle talked about, which is
Don't tell him that. I want to win.
being a first turn hero is generally not not helpful because cold tires will send you off the track. We've already got some action behind us here. That braking pile up here, the leader's kind of taking a break, jumbled up everybody in the back, and some folks forgot to hold their line, and Westy's even having a little trouble in the grass there.
Standard for me. This is what usually happens.
Yeah. So one thing you'll notice as you see this race unfold here in the first straightaway is, as soon as this pace car turns off, it's up to the leader, the person who took the pole the fastest lap. That's Jason Stein, who was a member of the Splunk Buttercup team that won the overall virtual race to .conf. He's going to bunch us up, so he's going to hold his speed kind of down low, and then he's probably going to try to get that drag race takeoff ahead of everybody else because he controls the pace of the race. So he wants to get us all bunched up and then try to put as big of a gap between himself and us as possible. And I can tell you what, there's about 12, 15 cars here that want to get around it. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. Well, the pace car is in and the cars are full away. Welcome to Beat the Beards, the race number 1. We are away at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Look at the action.
Let's see how we do in the first turn, Corey. It feels good, just a little cold. I am driving in my computer chair, so as I did push into the brakes there, pushing and sliding back on the old office chair here, so I'm going to have to fix that for the next race. But yeah, I think I did okay on the first turn, came out unscathed. We'll see how we go for the rest of this first lap as it's still cold.
Only 500 more to go, Kyle.
Yeah. My adrenaline can handle it, Brett. I'm shaking a little out of excitement, but we'll see how we go. Ooh.
Westy off track in turn 6.
Well, I'll tell you this, though. There was a lot of bumping in the back there during the pace car lap, and a few people are worse for the wear going into the start of this race right now.
Westy, I took that turn like a real pro, wouldn't you say?
To the back, so... now I am all over you, just like last time.
This is pretty standard for us. We although I will say we got some fast drivers out in front.
Just to give you an update, Corey, Westy's back left tire caught a corner and he just nosedived straight back into the garden to check on those vegetables. How are you doing, Westy?
Do you know what? I'm feeling healthy.
Little farm life, little time in the open air.
What did you plant this time, Westy?
Just good old-fashioned rubber.
No pumpkins?
No, too early.
No, I am running a add-on called Crew Chief, and it just notified me that I am in 7th place, so it looks like, delightfully middle of the pack here, which I'm gonna go ahead and take, because I gotta be honest, my tires still feel a bit chilly. I think just playing it conservative these next few laps will help finish the race. Maybe not go visit Westy's garden as well.
Well, I'm right behind you, Kyle, so keep it slow.
I did notice that. How's the back end of my car look, Brett?
Cold.
Well, we've got some beautiful cars up in front of us. This time we got a little bit more diversity in the car choices. Some folks showing up today in the Ferrari GT3, some Mercedes, BMW, and that beautiful McLaren spitting flames out the back. That has to be one of the coolest looking things to follow around the track, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I did grab a screenshot from one of the races that became my new Zoom background, and it was actually the Dell Technologies car taking a turn on this track and spitting flames on the back end. I'll tweet it out here after the race, and yeah, if you want a new Zoom background of a McLaren spitting flames, go ahead and grab it. It's absolutely beautiful, this game, though, with the graphics. What happened back there, Corey?
All I know is Brett is the number 2 beard right now.
That's right. Well, Westy's hot on his tail, and Brett's in second amongst the beards. And we're having a little. The big to beard is the middle of the pack. Knuckleheads back here. This is good, Kyle. I know you went by me pretty rapidly there. I think everybody's gonna be happy not to be mixed up with our nonsense.
Yeah, it looks like we have a couple pits as well. Kelly
Westy.
and Michael.
I'm sorry, but I did take that well.
What happened there, guys?
Westy,
Oops.
Well, we got a little beard on beard action there with Westy bumping me out of the way into that first turn. talk about consistency. Don't know about that.
Well, it's like
You
what
said-
Cole Trickle says in Days of Thunder, you know, rubbing is racing, boys. So just have to get used to it a
Absolutely.
bit, right?
I think one of the plus sides of our racing series is that these sessions do not qualify for your iRacing rating. So nobody's going to lose any safety points for their comically contact-heavy driving.
Oh, absolutely, Corey. You know, it is fun because with this iRacing platform, they start you off with, what is it, Mazda MX-5s?
Yeah, the
Which-
MX-5s.
I've never raced in real life, but how do those handle compared to what this racing platform is, Corey?
Exactly like it, actually. I had a chance. For those that aren't aware, Splunk is the employer of many a gearhead. And the gearheads like to go out and play on the racetrack. And actually, from time to time, back when life was a bit more normal, they would have track days at Laguna Seca, which is a racetrack in Northern California, not too far from the Splunk headquarters. And I had a chance to go out there one time, and there's companies that will rent you a spec racing MX-5. So basically that exact same car you were talking about virtually driving, I had a chance to drive in real life on Laguna Seca. And so having experience in that, and then actually driving those same MX-5s as we started getting ourselves kind of used to this iRacing thing, I can tell you, they're basically the same. The physics engine is really, really good because those Miatas are what they refer to as a momentum car. And so you really have to, you don't have a lot of horsepower, so you can't accelerate really rapidly. You can't make up for bad kind of entry and exit sort of placement of the car. And so you really have to do your best to just kind of keep the car moving as rapidly as possible without having those hard brake with the hope that you're going to have a hard acceleration later, because you just don't have it. So it's pretty accurate, and they are pretty slippery in the back.
I'm finally
and I
starting to get
just-
some warm tires here.
Yeah, how you
Well,
doing
we
back
just
there,
had-
Britt? It's,
Well, I'm recovering from the beard on beard action there, but it is what it is. We'll get back into the race and say hi to everybody.
good to hear. I was just overtaken by Westy, and I got to be honest, I saw the headlights behind me, looked down, saw on the relative gauge who it was, and thought, this madman here, I'm going to let him get around me and hold him to his own demise. Yeah, so we'll see if
Well,
that plays out for me or if I just gave up a position too easily.
I feel like Tom West is on a redemption road here, because he took third place overall in the virtual racer.conf, and I feel like he feels like he might have been robbed. Well, Tom West, do you think you were robbed? It's third place where you belong.
I think that over the whole series, third place was. If you'd have given me third place at the beginning, I'd have gone and snatched your hand off, and I feel as though it was probably appropriate for me to finish there. I think that I did well towards the back end, but the first end, good positions were more fortunate than actual good racing.
I got Matt Santiago right behind me on my 6, and man, he is just catching up to me in the corners. I am not able to handle those. Corey, I think you're right behind him as well. How am I doing?
Well, you're getting tracked down. Let's just be honest. There's no question.
Yeah.
Your braking there was a bit questionable, but it's fine. I like where your head's at. Stay in there.
Yeah.
Matt Santiago, he was one of the other drivers of the Buttercup machine that took first place overall in that virtual race.conf. I got along with John Hayward and Stephen Landry and Jason Stein, piloted that thing quite successfully. And looks like that team's being pretty well represented today in today's race. Well, guys, I'm curious. Today was the kickoff of Splunk Conf 20, virtual edition of .conf first. Like this year, many things are being experienced first. Does anybody have sort of favorite takeaways from today's .conf keynotes and sessions?
Observability.
Man, it is the center of attention, isn't it, today, Brett?
It was, and that's awesome. Love it. Some really good acquisitions by Splunk. Great keynotes from Doug and Tim and the rest of the executive team. So really excited about what tomorrow has in store. But today was pretty awesome. But observability, as I just missed a turn.
Talking and missing turns. That is the comedy that we actually, unlike the virtual race.com, which we raced ahead of time and then had a chance to commentate after the fact. This race is being run in real time, and as you can see, we are driving and commentating. So, maybe the beating the beards shouldn't feel that great. I don't know. We'll see.
It's still pretty epic.
It is a very epic.
But you know what? I'm having a great time as always with you all and with the Splunk community.
For sure. Kyle Prinz, what was your favorite about today's conf?
So I haven't been able to watch everything just yet, but been reading snippets in the Slack user groups, and I think the thing I'm most excited about so far is the metrics index millisecond search. So being able to get millisecond data when that is important into your index and searching off of that. So an immediate use case for me would be the iRacing event. You know, we were only sampling the data every 300ths of a second, and now we could even get it down to every 100th of a second, which then just gives us that much more data accuracy. So I think that's probably the thing I'm most excited about right now. How about you, Corey?
Well, I forgot to be more inclusive there, Kyle, because I seem like forget that you're not actually in the U.S. right now, and so you and the team in EMEA and APJ, your conf kicks off tomorrow, which will be exciting. So you'll actually get to see a lot of what was talked about and what we're excited about. I'm personally kind of interested in the Splunk machine learning environment, the integration with Jupyter, having spent quite a bit of my career over the last 5-6 years working with data science teams, you know, that weren't oftentimes, you know, users of Splunk. To see those worlds come together and to see Splunk put together a platform that really is a data science sort of native toolkit in Jupyter and those notebooks in terms of how they like to create their models, manage and run and deploy those, I think is absolutely brilliant. I think bringing that capability to the data that's so well indexed in Splunk, I think is going to open up a lot of possibilities for collaboration between, you know, more traditional data science teams and the Splunk admins who, you know, so many times are data superheroes in the organization. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that gets applied. I'm interested to see the stories and the ways that customers use that technology to really power their next generation sort of AI and deep learning efforts. Tom West, I know you're good. You're going to be starting your conf out tomorrow. Anything you're super excited about to see?
Like Brett,
I
really.
just about missed it.
A bit like Brett, really, all about observability. Really excited to see all the new developments and everything that are coming from that field. Especially as a developer myself, to see exactly the latest and greatest in that field is a big plus for me.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, Splunk made a couple of big acquisitions today that I saw them talking about. So clearly that's an area of a lot of interest for a lot of customers. One thing I was going to say too about the conf experience, I just want to give them a shout out. Like that was really well done. If you haven't had a chance to see the keynotes yet, they talked about using some similar technology to what the team at Disney used to create The Mandalorian, and it absolutely showed because the keynotes looked absolutely beautiful. They looked cool, they were well shot, they were engaging, and from a content perspective, but just from a content creation perspective, they were really well done. And a lot of folks tuned in. I think I saw a note that more than 40,000 people have registered for .conf. That is just a stunning number. Do you think conf will get big enough that we'll have 40,000 people join us in Vegas sometime soon?
That'd be pretty awesome.
Absolutely hope. I might have to double the footprint there. 40,000. That's quite a few people. I'm absolutely bummed that we can't be there in person under all that, but I do have to hand it to Splunk being able to, you know, add these sessions to your agenda, being able to watch them on demand, and then, yeah, I've noticed being able to again use that Slack user group to be able to collaborate with coworkers and people in your community is a wonderful way to kind of feel engaged at conf and also get educated and have fun at the same time. So huge shout out to the .conf team for making this possible. This is, in light of recent situations and all that, this is an absolutely fun event to be a part of. So kudos to that team.
Yeah, Kyle, absolutely. You know, I'm really excited about some of the hands-on labs that I saw today, and some of the stuff that's going on tomorrow. There's some really cool things around using the machine learning toolkit to identify cars using Splunk. So I'm going to try that out tomorrow and have some fun hands-on keyboard.
I saw there's quite a few hands-on labs there as well, right? And you can take them on demand anytime, and yeah, it's really great.
As well as breakout sessions. The fact that because they are all pre-recorded, you can have a live Q&A with the speaker whilst the session's going on. So not disrupting the flow and being able to engage one-on-one with speakers, I think is a really great feature for not just this, but any real virtual conference. So it's nice to be able to do.
Yeah, they've done a bunch to make it more interactive. That even though we can't be there in person, one area I started poking around I thought was pretty cool is the data playground, and the Big Data Beard team was excited to be included in that interactive experience. So definitely check that out. It's one of the tools in the top of your conf browser to go check out the data playground. But lots of cool ones over there. And I saw James Brodsky's splunking his pickle jars, which is if you love pickles. And yeah, his kids were eating up all his pickles, so he put some IoT sensors in and monitoring the late night pickle consumption of his favorite crispy snack.
I might have to borrow that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would guess, but there's a few home automation nerds on this call, on this race. Brett Roberts, do you like home automation? Is that a big deal to you?
I think like is an understatement there, Corey.
Yeah, I think so too. And you're splunking it all, and I think we've got even Stephen Ludke, who's I think racing with us right now. He is one of the folks that put together one of those data playground sessions, talking about how he has automated the things in his home and is splunking it all, and actually kind of inspired him on some other use cases that could be used for customers. So definitely check out the data playground for all your inspirational Splunk use cases. Because let's be honest, you know what? If you're gonna have to use technology to power the things you need to do in your day job, why not have a little fun with it?
Couldn't agree more, Corey. You know what else is in the data playground, though?
What's that?
The virtual race to conf.
Oh yeah, we're in there, buddy. Sweet videos, the racing action.
We'll have to follow up with all of that as well. I did notice as well there was a bit of a D&D game going on last night. It seemed to go on for quite a few hours. It seemed pretty interesting. We'll have to see what's going on there. I think they're doing it again today as well.
They sure are. Well, a quick update for the team here. I have bend it in, they say. I have gone into the wall, and car steering is completely out of whack. My current steering wheel is at about a 230 to keep the car straight. So I clearly have one wheel going one direction, one wheel going the other. That's fun.
I'm only about 15 seconds behind you, so just slow down for a little bit.
Oh, you're going to pass me, buddy, because this car is going to the pit. Now, that's actually a good segue. Let's talk about one of the things that happens in the pits is we have the ability in this racing series to use something called a fast repair. Oh, I cannot even keep it on the road. A fast repair, which is basically the idea that they will just instantaneously fix your car so that you can get back out on the racetrack without having to go through the insanely long sort of repair cycle that you might expect. Okay.
And Matt Santiago just caught up with me and overtaken me. And with that, Westy is 8 seconds ahead of me, up from a previous 2 a few laps ago, which means I am just not contending right now, Corey. I'll have to take a look at the data and see what I'm doing here.
You know, I've just gone and kept him behind you for a bit longer. I'd have appreciated that.
And I spoke too soon as I have just hit a full spin out. Fortunately, no wall damage from me, so I am back at it. We are racing again.
I just passed Corey as he went into the pit, but we have Jason Stein hot on my tail, and it's inevitable when he's going to pass me. So I'll be keeping the same place, but Corey is not ahead of me.
Well, here's the other story today. This is going to bum me out. So I was so damaged in my steering that I couldn't make the pit entrance safely, and so I am now getting a 40-second penalty for unsafe pit entrance. So that should give you guys enough time between my pit time and the penalty for unsafe pit entrance. That should put you all at least a lap ahead of me.
Oh, buddy, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Kyle,
Kyle,
what happened on your end? Because I saw that you got ahead of Matt again.
Yeah, so not 100 meters after I spun out, I'm rounding a corner and I can see Matt Santiago's headlights. So it looks like he caught a little bit of whatever I was doing, and not a turn later ended up in the grass as well. So I think it might just be a theme in general in the back here as the cars are getting slicker due to tire wear, the track's warming up, and the cars are getting lighter from fuel consumption, that they're just starting to slide a bit more. Have you guys noticed anything like that in your vehicles, or is it just me and my McLaren?
I've noticed
No,
it.
I'm absolutely
but
starting to see that too.
I've noticed it, but I also remember when we looked at our health data for the virtual race to conf, how that had such a big impact depending on what you were doing throughout the race as well. So I wonder if maybe a bit of adrenaline or anything along those lines might also be a part.
Oh, absolutely, because I can feel my heart rate right now, and fortunately I'm able to use the Health Post app by Ryan O'Connor from my iPhone to get the data into Splunk. We'll have to take a look at that and see how my heart rate's pumping right now. But yeah, Wesley, I've absolutely got another shot of adrenaline after spinning out there, and trying not to hit a wall on that, because as you can see, it can cause detrimental damage to your race. As you can see what happened with Corey there, having to be towed in as well as serving the lap penalty. So yeah, definitely riding out this shot of adrenaline here.
And I very much appreciate Corey coming straight out of the pits and straight into my racing line.
Oh!
I stayed clear. I stayed clear of your racing line. You were in
Yeah, you did. I gave you your rear. Yeah, I gave your rear a little bit of a nudge, but I'm hoping the car's okay.
My goodness.
That's the understatement of the night, Westy. Little nudge.
And,
I've just seen him spinning in the back.
Yeah,
I think maybe we'd let the court of public opinion solve that one on Twitter. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Did Corey violate? Well, it doesn't matter because Corey just went in the wall again. It's incredible how great I'm doing today.
I'm laughing
Corey,
out
you're
of sadness, Corey.
Falling apart
Is
under pressure. What's going on, my friend?
Talking and driving clearly are not two things that I should do at the same time. If
Oh,
I put a piece of chewing gum in my mouth right now, I would explode.
Given the fact that one of my favorite tactics during the race to conf was to just shout Corey down the microphone, and it was a very effective tactic, I can believe that.
Yes, my whole consistency, which really was what defined my racing experience throughout the virtual race to .conf, has officially left me. I am racing like this is my first time, and I have a feeling it's Tom West's fault, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Matt Santiago has taken me over again as I have spun out, so he has fully capitalized on that and is now 7.5 seconds ahead of me. I think the scarier story is Jason Stein, who is the leader of this pack, I believe, is 12 seconds behind me, but that will be a quick one as I enter the garden from not paying attention to the race.
Somebody's going gardening again, huh?
Get them pumpkins.
It is pumpkin
I would like to
season,
blame the
isn't it?
car, but I think it's just me trying to multitask and falling apart here.
Well, I'm glad that somebody else is subject to the same sort of errors.
Well, I'll say this. I'm in 8th place right now. Second best showing I've had all season. I'm pretty happy. But there's plenty of racing left. We got 17 minutes left.
Oh, goodness.
I forgot how to brake.
I've got 3 back markers straight ahead as we approach the back end. So this is going to be interesting.
Now, do you all have any tips for how to take these turns as these cars get lighter? Because I am just sliding hard on all of the turns and could absolutely use a pointer.
You're braking forward.
Going back to the data that we had for Laguna Seca, where we had the same problem, slow down.
Mm-hmm. Ah,
Oh,
so
no.
how you all doing?
Oh, Westy, what happened?
I just
buddy?
I got slammed, but hopefully we're okay. We'll see. Find out what the steering's like.
Well, I can see part of my hood in my line of sight that is crumpled up in front of me, so my arrow is not what it once was.
Are you going back into the pit?
No, it's not bad enough. I don't have any major steering damage. It doesn't appear. It just seems like cosmetic.
Well, I gotta be nervous or honest with you. I am terrified of what's behind me right now, which is the machine of Jason Stein closing in on
The
me
leader's
just
fitting.
5 seconds. Oh,
I just got the note.
Well, you know, Corey, this is a 40-minute race, so will fuel be an issue today?
I actually don't believe it will, given the setups, but I could be wrong. I haven't actually checked my fuel levels. And, you know, one of the things that's usually a pro tip on iRacing is to go in and kind of deselect all of your, all the things that they do during the pit stop. And I didn't turn those off.
Me
so
neither.
I got a full load of fuel, tires, and everything. So
Oh, I'm looking at mine. I have 4 gallons left or 7 laps, and I think based on the times I'm putting down, that's going to be more than, or I will. The time allowed is more than the laps I have left in this tank, so I might have to pit real quick.
I just
With
got
VR,
a
I don't know if I
notification.
can do that.
I just got a notification. I have 5 laps of fuel left. How many laps do you think we have left of this race?
We got about
we
15 minutes.
We've got 15 minutes, so you got more than that. So apparently fuel is going to be a requirement in this setup.
So now strategy comes into play.
Now we're talking. This is kind of fun. This is a dynamic we didn't have in the virtual race to comp, because we basically set the cars up with enough fuel that they could make the complete race. But this is a fun dynamic, boys and girls. That's why our leader pulled away to make their pit. So maybe my pit won't be as detrimental as I was fearful. given
Yeah.
that now I've taken on that additional fuel, probably enough to get me through the race.
And now the challenge for me is going to be, how do I get the windshield and tires unchecked with VR just so I can get fuel?
Ooh, that's a tough call.
And do I risk crashing trying to do it, or do I just go in and get the tires and the windshield?
Well, it took me, just FYI, the full service pit stop with quick repair was 1 minute flat. So, oh man,
I'm dropping in
no.
5 gallons of gas for me, and that should work. I've got the pit speed limiter on so I don't get penalized as I'm exiting pit lane, and we are good to go. I have lost a position to Jason Stein. Jason Stein actually was in 7th place, now in 6th. So something must have happened with him, because he is normally a top contender up there battling for the pole position.
well, I believe he may have been the leader, so he probably pit. I think he's the one that took the pit. So he's got now a full load of fuel, while the rest of the pack probably, maybe they're not aware. Maybe they're not actually aware that they're going to be out of fuel. I'm guessing that given that they're leading the race, they're pretty talented iRacing aficionados and keeping an eye on those sorts of things. But it'll be curious to see how they take it.
Shouldn't have said anything, Corey.
Let's see, Brett. Oh, Brett's doing a little farming today. No problem there. Oh, is that Brett?
Nope.
Oh, that's not Brett. Who is that? Oh, that's a good friend, Jeremy.
I will say, Corey, I
All
was
my
doing the
pumpkins have been
virtual race. Brett is in from the field, calling it a day, keeping it on the track. I will say, I did have a 3-monitor setup on the virtual race to .conf, and you know, here we are with the headsets today, and these VR headsets just give a whole other sense of realism to the game. You can truly feel the speed, the turns, and the pitches. Would you all agree with that?
100%. Yeah, this is once you experience the VR, it is. I can't imagine going back to it now, or going back to the monitors, because the fact that you can just so easily turn your head in, you know, as you're looking for the apex of the turns, and as you said, you know, you get that sense of speed just in the, you know, the vibration of the car, and it being so statically aligned to your eyesight, not to a monitor. It is absolutely immersive. And I'll tell you what, folks, you can run it on a lot of different GPUs. Obviously, the faster the better. We're running on a couple of Dell. I think they're basically called like the data science laptop, but it's a 17-inch Dell with a big NVIDIA Quadro 5200M, which is kind of an older model. These are some loaners from our friends at Dell Technologies that they use for events, but absolutely rendering graphics. I mean, I'm getting 80 frames a second in high def in a VR headset. And man, does it look cool.
Oh, very cool. I am in a bit of a position here with Brett where we are taken out by Matt Santiago.
Not me.
All shenanigans on that.
I have my bar of soap today. I'm running a clean race.
Running a clean race. Well, everybody, the next leader's pitting, so the leaders have figured out that they are going to need to take a load of fuel to get them to the finish line. So the question becomes, Big Dinner Beer Team, what's your strategy? When are you When are you thinking about the pits? Do you do it now, like the leaders? Do you wait and see if you can go a little farther?
Well, I actually have 5 laps left. I got all my tires unchecked, so I'm going to do one more, try and drop that fuel to only 5 gallons, and then pit next time.
Good strategy. Tom West, what about you? What are you thinking about for pit strategy?
According to my computer, it is saying I have 11 laps of fuel remaining, so I think I'm good.
Wow.
Let's see
Now,
what
have you
the
taken a
fuel
pit at all?
conservation.
I have no idea how.
Maybe it's the efficiency of that McLaren car. It just doesn't burn the gas like these monster Mercs and BMWs.
So I did a little farming there.
You know, in a shocking turn of events, Brett is actually ahead of me.
Sat down for that. Sorry, Brett.
So Brett, I am coming for you on this one. We'll see how I go.
Did you already pit?
Yes, I have already pitted. Have enough fuel to get me through the rest of the race. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. I am just falling apart though. My chair is-
and a full Tokyo drift.
What just happened at
So
the
my
back there,
issue
Corey?
is instant counts now. I just did a couple pretty poor laps, and I am high on the instant counts.
What are you at, Brett, with the incident count?
Not going to tell you.
Well, and for those that don't know, once your incident counts go over 30, you actually are penalized and have to go serve a waiting penalty in the pits. So you're driving like a wild man or a woman, just knocking people off the track. Will get you penalized, and if you don't honor those penalties, they will actually black flag you, kick you right out of the race. So you got to be aware. Sadly, I'm at 17 on the incident count.
Well,
Not running a clean race today.
Can you take some of mine, Corey?
What do y'all think he's at? I think he's at like 24.
All right, over
I
under
think
25. What do you
27.
think?
Over.
Over.
What do you got?
You are correct.
Oh.
27.
Oh, folks, he's
Oh.
getting close. Somebody go bump him because you can give him incident points.
Well, that's just rude.
Because they do
That's
not
taking a-
increment.
That doesn't embody the spirit of iRacing.
That's true. That is against it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That is destruction derby right there.
It turns out that the threshold may be more than 30 for this race series because, speaking from experience, 30 seems okay.
Oh,
Westy.
with more than 30 points.
Well, that makes me.
Well, you know, crashing to the back of Corey, whacking Brett off the road, being hit by a couple of back markers, that'll do it. And just generally
Westy.
driving not very well.
Man. Westy is just the dirty racer of the Big Data Beard team today, huh?
Absolutely.
No, I do
Westy,
have
you did
Brett.
a fine job today on your session. I want to give you a plug to make sure you tell people about what your session was all about today.
My session, it was it was aimed at developers. It was using my app that I've created called SPL Rehab, which is a way of being able to debug searches and kind of stripping that apart to show you how you can create custom searches, CI/CD within your own Splunk apps, some standard login patterns that I've used and have found very, very effective, and a bit of CSS visualization as well, all within one session. Yeah, that was that. But Brett, you were also doing a great session today. What was yours about?
Yeah, so as Kyle has bumped me from behind right now, let's talk about the session. So I did one about architecture best practices and deployment considerations for Splunk. And we all know that Splunk is one of those applications that grows very quickly. And when it grows, we need to make sure that we're accounting for performance and capacity scaling. And so we talked about some of the best practices and how do you set up your deployment to handle future growth.
It was a fun session. They were all kind of back to back. And we had didn't get a chance to watch it yet based on timing, but the McLaren and Splunk session is one that I'm going to be going back and watching on replay because Edward Green, who was one of the folks that joined us on the virtual racer.conf interview set, he really interesting guy, the principal digital architect for McLaren. And what a cool job designing a lot of the tech that goes out into the field as they're racing. And he and James Hodge doing a session there. I want to definitely check out. If you're a motorsports kind of gearhead, that's another one of those beautiful mashups of technology, IT, Splunk, and racing. Lots of good sessions out there.
Now, speaking of sessions, you and Kyle had a session set.
We did. We talked about the virtualracer.conf. Imagine that, and kind of gave a primer on what the thing was all about, and then Kyle deep dived on the way that the team built the data ingest capability to get data out of iRacing, the kinds of data that we were looking at, and then showcased the really cool apps and dashboards that we built to visualize the data and give a little bit of insight into the racing action. Had a little bit of fun there, Kyle. Then we had good action on the chat rooms, which is always good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. We even had a little bit of a celebrity appearance in it as well, which we won't give away just yet. But sorry, just bumping into Ferraris in front of me. No worries there. But yeah, be sure to check that out. As we said before, you can catch it on demand or during the scheduled time in any of your regions.
So you trade bumping into Beamers into Ferraris now, right, Kyle?
I did. Matt Santiago, or no, Matt Modestino is in front of me and braked a little too hard and I couldn't catch it and just had to give him a little, hey, how you doing?
The interesting thing with Matt Modestino, he's one of the honorary Splunk Trust members, so very glad to have him on the call as well.
Oh, good to hear. Good to hear.
Fun development. Steve Dvorak, the leader of all of the strategists and field solutions engineers for Splunk, is just ahead of me. He's going into pit now. But glad to see him making an entrance into the racing action today. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it, but that's super exciting. It's too bad he pulled off to the pits. I was going to see if I could race him, but I don't know if bumping your boss is a really good plan on iRacing.
That feels like a career-limiting move, Corey. I wouldn't exactly suggest
So I
that.
just pit myself.
Well,
Right,
let's see
how
if we
low
can
were you
hold
on fuel there?
It said 1 lap left.
him. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
that's a real
Yeah, it
time.
is.
So I got my tires off. I wasn't able to get my fuel, and I think they're filling it up. So I got about 10 gallons more of fuel left to be filled. Let's see if I can meet in the middle while I'm stopped.
And this is when it gets interesting. It's when all the traffic has to suffer the timing downfall of the pit stop. Going to renormalize sort of the standings here. I'm hoping to regain that lap lost during my awful pitting experience based on my own poor driving execution. Hopefully, it serendipitously won't hurt me as bad as I thought it would.
I just got the reminder that I have 5 laps of fuel left, but we only have 3 minutes remaining in the race, and given my lap times, I think I'll be okay.
You're going to make it. Well, man, this is coming down to the wire. 40 minutes of racing, a little bit longer than most of the virtual races. Tom, how's 40 minutes behind the wheel feeling to you right now, buddy?
It's very tense. Me and John Hayward are battling out for second place with less than a second gap between us.
Are you really?
Yeah.
John Hayward, he was the silent assassin during a lot of our races. He was just quietly putting down crazy lap times during the virtual race to conf and piloted it. Again, part of the team that piloted that Splunk Buttercup car to a victory overall.
Now, Westy must be throwing down some crazy fast lap times because he was behind us at one point in the race and has now gotten up to second. Westy, are you able to see what your best lap time is?
Not right now.
Yeah,
go look.
Yeah, go look.
I think because I've got the McLaren, and I think the McLaren is just a little bit better as far as fuel consumption. I haven't had the problem that everybody else has had in terms of having a pit. So
Well,
because
as
of
a
that,
McLaren-
go on.
Well, as a McLaren driver who did have to pit, I'm going to kindly disagree with that statement.
Okay, fair
It
enough.
might just be lack of
That's
talent
all right.
on my end. I refuse to admit that reality. So,
I think that
That is
John
kind of
is
interesting.
about to take me. We are neck and neck, so this is going to go. Yeah, I'm scared. There we go. He's got.
Well, I'll
second.
tell you this, guys. I got a full tank,
oh no,
and my car is slipping everywhere. I should have gotten 5 gallons like you did, Kyle.
Yeah, that.
No, I got a heavy car and used tires.
Yep.
That's a weird
And I am
combo.
struggling to make these turns now, and I can feel it. Every turn is like jello.
Just goes to show that you can win and lose a race in a pit crew as well, right? That's gonna be a hard turnout because it's not even the pit itself, but now the reward of it too. You know.
Well, I just spun out because of this.
Oh no, Brett losing positions.
Oh.
Hold on to it, Brett Roberts.
And Corey's gonna pass me because of this.
Oh no. Tough day at the track for Brett. Fortunately, though, race 2 is tomorrow.
Race 2 is tomorrow in a more EMEA-friendly time zone. We're going to race that race at, I believe it's, actually, I don't remember what time it is, maybe 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. GMT.
Well, I'll tell you, if you go to the Big Data Beard Twitter account at Big Data Beard, we have all the times in our tweets, or you go to bigdatabeard.com/VR2C to get all of the racing information.
See, that's Brett Roberts, always organized, keeping us tidy.
And I'll tell you, there's 20 seconds left in this race, and Corey is 22 seconds behind me.
I'm not going to have a chance to close to track you down, I fear, buddy.
Well, there's always, it's not over till it's over.
Oh, white flag. Okay, white flag is out. I think the leaders are probably crossing the finish line now. And sadly, we can't see who they are because we're still racing. But we will see shortly who just won the first race in the Big Data Beard.
Looks like
Oh, no.
I've got the standings pulled up right now, and John Hayward is actually right in front of me, so I'll be crossing the finish line with them just a lap down. But it's looking like it's going to be Jeff Mina in first, and John Hayward second, and then Tom West comfortably in third.
Tom West, congrats, buddy.
Thank you. I have no
Well, I'll
idea
tell you,
how
it's
that
not
happened.
going good. I am going through the grass right now. I got hit.
Oh no, there's a chance. So
And there's still a chance. I have one more turn until I get on the straightaway. I am going at a 90-degree angle. Corey, you're 16 seconds behind me. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't think you're going to make it.
Oh no, I'm the slowest beard. This hurts so bad.
I just wanted to say a shout out to Team Brett. Hashtag Team Brett.
Way to go, Team Brett!
Oh, and I just got rammed at the final turn. Oh, into the wall.
Cherry on the
There's
top.
Westy. Westy not even bothering with the brakes after the race, just going for it.
Yeah, well,
Somebody
you
just
know.
put me in the wall. My car's going to come across the finish line looking real good, y'all.
I'll take 8th place any day.
I think I must have visited a dirt track here in Florida for some demolition derby. It's looking properly beat up. Oh, man, this is not Corey's best showing, but I tell you what, this has been ridiculously fun. The Big Data Beard, thanks everybody for tuning in to the first Beat the Beards race. And congratulations. Let's see.
Whew.
Jeff Mina, Hayward, and Westy, congratulations on taking 3rd place for Beat the Beards. Thank you all for joining. Tune in to Splunk's Twitch channel or whatever platform you're watching this on tomorrow for the follow-up race for the qualifying. And then we'll be back on Thursday for the championship race. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching the Big Data Beards Beat the Beards as part of Splunk's.conf 20. Y'all take care of everybody.
Have a good one.